Good morning, guys. Giovanni's here already. Welcome, Giovanni. Woo, am I late? Am I a minute late? My apologies to you for being a minute late. It looks like I think I might be. What is going on? Already 1700. Sorry, Giovanni. I was just a teensy bit late, apparently. Not very good at watching the clock, I guess. What's going on? How's things in Italy, my friend? Oh, there's that light back there again. I'm gonna have to turn that off. Unless it's not in the way. I think we'll roll with it for now. So what's going on? How are you guys? Welcome to this Wednesday Live from Homebuilt Workshop. Hopefully we're live. Everything good? It seems to look exceptionally better on my end. Why is that? Interesting. I like it. Giovanni, today no steaks. Well, I had the steaks ready for you, but I don't know. Did you miss your flight? I missed you. That would be cool if we could have steaks together. That'd be fun. John's here. Hi, mate. How's things? John, things are good, my friend. How are you today? How's things going? I know I'm dressed like I look like it's cold, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad right now. I think we're in the like mid 30s right now. Celsius, what is that? I don't know. Phil's here. What's up, my man? Phil from Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania. John says, all good over here in England. Nice. Phil, it's freezing here in PA. Really? You got a cold snap? Oh, boy. Hang in there, buddy. I don't know if you like cold or not, but like the snow or whatever, but anyway. Stay warm, my friend. Wags is here. Hey now, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Wags, and welcome back, my friend. Let's see here. Epperson, woodworking. Yeah, how the weather? Well, that's what I was just talking about a second ago. It's not too bad. Like I still got a sweatshirt and a hat, but I always got a beanie. Like I have a beanie on until like May, something like that. But I came out here to the shop and I got the heat started up a little bit ago, and it's not super warm in here, but it's decent. It's decent. Oh man, it's warmer than I thought. Like we're almost 60 degrees in here. Woo! I'm gonna have to like lose this jacket. But not bad in here. We're mid 30s or so outside. I think it's supposed to be decent today, which is kind of cool because I got a little bit of outdoor work. I'm gonna look and see what our forecast is supposed to be. Phil says 19 degrees. Woo! That's chilly. John, 4 degrees here. Woo, man. Giovanni just finished assembling an Axminster wood bandsaw. Nice. Keep us all in the loop as to how you like those, because I'd be curious to see. Wag says heat wave. It is a heat wave. Oh, let's see. We're supposed to be like 48 degrees today. Oh, and according to this here phone, it says we're 39. It's backwards, I know, but it's supposed to be pretty decent, I guess, which is kind of cool. Gina's here. What's up? What's up? Don't let the boss see. Howdy, y'all. Gina says. Blackbird says, howdy, Jeff. Walking through a half foot of snow here in my part of Northeast Ohio. Oh man, very, very cool. I think. I wish we'd get some snow. I have a friend who lives up in the mountains of Colorado, and we got to go up there for the weekend, and it's much higher elevation. He lives at about 10,000 feet of elevation, and up in the mountains, really awesome snow-capped peaks everywhere. But they have like I don't know a couple feet of snow on the ground, and it was amazing to be able to just be outside playing in the snow. Did some tubing. It was really awesome. I like it when the weather's like that. It reminded me of when I was growing up in Pennsylvania. It's not quite like that now, but when I grew up in Pennsylvania, we would get snow in the wintertime, and it would basically stay there till spring. I mean, it would just, the snow would stay. It wouldn't melt off all the time, and it was winter. You had snow, and the roads were all snow covered and snow packed, and you just drove. That's what you did, and it's exactly what it was up there, and it was awesome. It was an awesome weekend. It was short. I mean, we went up Saturday morning and came back Sunday midday or so, but it was really nice. Get out for a day, just to spend some time outside in the snow and just have some fun, visit with a friend, and it was pretty good. Estelan, good afternoon. How are you, Estelan? Welcome. Harry Dude, what's up, my man? Harry Dude, 12 degrees, raining in summer. What? You know what? That's probably good in your neck of the woods that there's rain. So I just hope that it's where it needs to be. It's gotta turn off these notifications. All right, cool. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's see, 12 degrees. Oh yeah, Harry Dude. Hopefully things are calming down over there. I hope. Phil says, I had to scrap the floating nightstand idea. Also might be heading to visit my brother in Castle Rock late summer or fall. Oh wow. You let me know. I'm serious. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Did you have a problem with the nightstand? And was there a reason that you had to scrap it, or just change of direction or something? I mean, that happens to me a lot too. John says 39 in England, still shorts for me. Oh yeah, I can imagine 39. What is that? Oh, that's not Celsius. What am I thinking? You're not talking Celsius, are you? No way. You don't use Celsius. Do you use Celsius in England? It can't be. Correct me on that one, because I think I'm wrong. I think you're talking Fahrenheit. Estelan, it's way too warm for winter. Yeah, and it's raining. Yeah, rain. You shouldn't get rain in winter. It should be snow. Estelan said, got home from work and now grab my guitar. That is always a good thing to do after work. Grab a guitar, just chill for a while, play a little bit. Excellent way. Gina says, we can go up there. Yeah, Golden Flame Wings are calling. Yes, there is a hot wing place in Castle Rock. Phil, that is very good. At least I think they are. If you like hot wings. Seriously, let me know. We will make the drive up there and at least make time to say hi. Phil says, headboard wouldn't fit, so have to make another headboard first, then the nightstands. Ah, gotcha. I need to make a headboard. I need to make a new headboard for our home. Maybe two. Maybe one for Haley, too. Today, we have some... Oh, man, that's hot. Whew. It's burning my tongue. I got some tasty coffee right there. I need to build a couple. So, that might be on the list for this year. John says, no, Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit? Oh, yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, 39 degrees, that's not too bad. I have friends who wear shorts almost the whole entire year, and unless it's like 20 below, and then they still probably would wear shorts. Heavy big jacket and shorts on. Nothing wrong with that at all. 4 degrees Celsius, okay. Yeah. Blackbirds. Oh wait, Neptunes. I miss Neptunes. Neptunes. What is going on? Hello. How is everyone? Hello, Neptunes. What's going on? Blackbird says, snow up in the mountains can be fun. The only downside is getting your truck up down your driveway if you live on a hill or mountain. Yeah, the roads were, we went up on Saturday, and they got snow, I guess, on Friday. So, no snow on Saturday, but the roads weren't completely clear Saturday morning when we were heading up, so it was a little nerve-wracking in a couple spots, because you would go from perfectly dry, clear roads, and you would go around a bend, and it would be like solid ice. So you didn't really want to just start cruising along when it was dry, because you didn't know what you were going to be coming into when you zipped around a corner. And we actually saw one accident. It wasn't bad, but you could tell that somebody was going along and they got into a turn, and it was icy, and they just whoop right off into the ditch. I mean, there wasn't mangled up or anything, but they were definitely stuck. The police were there in the tow truck, but it wasn't bad. I'm thankful that we had good roads. We didn't have to deal with any steep driveways or anything like that, but definitely was really nice. I mean, it's snow packed and all that stuff, but you know, we just pretty much cruised around in 4-wheel drive, and it was good. Phil says, thinking of going rustic style using pallet wood. Nothing wrong with that. Go for it. I've got a couple pallets that I might make something out of. I don't know. Epperson says, got any big projects coming up? Right now, not any big builds. It's a lot harder to get into a big project. I think I've talked about this before, but if not, then or if I did, I'm sorry. I'm going to do it again, I guess. But this time of year, it's really hard to go for me to get into something big, because when I'm doing something big, I do a lot of work outside, and honestly, I don't know what the weather is going to do, so I'm a little bit hesitant to start something big, and then we get a snowstorm or something, and then I can't do anything because I've got to try to move it inside, and I just don't have the room in here. So no big projects. I've got a lot of smaller projects planned out that I'll be working on over the next couple weeks. Probably the biggest thing that I have coming up is some lumber milling. I'm going to be doing something new. I've got some elm logs. I think I've mentioned those before, that I have sitting outside the shop here, and they've been sitting for about a year, a little over a year actually now, and I finally got everything I need to mill those up myself. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a learning experience. I'm probably gonna do a video on that, and I'm gonna be milling this with a chainsaw. I got a chainsaw mill. It's gonna be so cool. I'm really excited because I've been wanting to get these done for quite a while. So that's probably the biggest thing that I have coming up, and hopefully by the end of this week, into the weekend, I'll be able to start on that and see what we have. I'm excited to get these logs opened up and see what's inside there. So that's probably the biggest thing. I guess it's not really a project, but like a build, I guess, kind of project. But it's going to be. I plan on doing some sort of a video on it. I haven't quite figured out what angle, how I'm going to approach that. I think I might just do it kind of maybe more like a vlog style for that, and because I am not an expert on that, this will be my first time, but I want to share that experience with everyone, and we'll kind of see where it goes. So be on the lookout for that. It's not, even if I mill it this weekend, it won't be for a few weeks, because I've got some other projects that I'm editing right now, and it'll be coming out a little bit later. I'm a little ahead on the filming, but I'm behind on editing, really. Mr. Doughboy, hello everyone, what's up? Doughboy says, I live in the White Mountains, lots of snow here. Nice, how much do you have on the ground? Gina says, I would love to see mountains in Vermont and New Hampshire. Yes, I've been into Vermont once in the winter, but that was really because I was up in the Cape Cod area with my dad at the time, and we were pretty close to Vermont, so we said, let's drive into Vermont, just so we can say we were there. We drove in like a mile or something, turned around and came back out. Like, we didn't spend any time there. I don't even really, it wasn't even a visit, but I have been into the state. But yeah, it would be cool. Pretty much anything New England, all that stuff. Mr. Doughboy says, I'm in the Maine side of the White Mountains near Sunday River. Maine, you live in Maine? That's one state that I want to go. I really want to see Maine. I don't know why. When I look at Maine, it just looks cool. Seems like a place I want to see. Estelon, any tips of where to get good, inexpensive guitar necks from? There is a fine line, I'm okay saying, between good and inexpensive. You can go on eBay and just buy some used necks. if you know, and usually you can find decent deals. Sometimes you can find new ones on there that may be usable if you put some work into it. I don't have any particular source for getting inexpensive ones. You know, you could always go something like All Parts or something like that, but they're not. You know, you're still going to be spending typically over $100 bucks or more on those. But look for used ones. You know, I've used some used ones before, and just for other projects, and I don't see any problem with it. You know, buy some. Maybe you can find a cheap Fender Squire, a Squire Strat or something like that, and you can just find next. Check eBay. I spend a fair amount of time looking at stuff on eBay. You might be able to find stuff. I don't know if you know, if you want to use Facebook Marketplace, just find some cheap used guitars. See if you can find something real cheap. You might be able to take parts and pieces off of it. But I think that would be my first suggestion. Just scope out eBay. Like I said, some of them sell new ones on there, but I've never used one that are really cheap, and I can't speak to the quality. It may or may not be okay. If you're okay doing some extra sanding or maybe some fretwork or something, there's probably no reason you couldn't try one out. And really, most of the time they're cheap enough so that if it's really not great, you're not out that much money. Doughboy says, I can see Mount Washington from my street. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Where we were over the weekend in the mountains of Colorado, you could see like a bunch of peaks over there. I do not know how high Mount Washington is, so let me know. Leave it over here. But the mountains we were looking at are like 14,000. They're all 14ers. Colorado has a bunch of 14,000 foot mountains, and we were looking at a ton of them from where we were in that town. They were just all around. Estelon, don't feel comfortable building one. Well, you could do it. I feel confident in your abilities, and I believe you could do it. It just takes a little time. Get some templates, get some, you know, stuff like that, and I know you could do it. And there's no reason you have to be able to knock them out in a day or two. You know, you could take a month. You could take 3 months to do it. One little piece at a time. If you want to tackle it, there's something really cool about playing on a neck that you made. But there's no reason. You don't have to. I mean, but if you ever wanted to try it, I know you could do it. Estelon, Vermont in the summer was beautiful last year. Oh, I can imagine. Phil says, about how long does it take to wood cut from fresh trees to dry out where you can build with it? Well, typically, and this is just a rule of thumb, can change based on conditions. But typically they say about a year per inch. So if it's 2 inches thick, 2 years air drying. Now, if you live in a very humid area, a very cool area, it's going to take longer. If you live in a hot, dry area, it could go faster. That's where having something like a good moisture meter is good. You can keep an eye on things, and this is the one that I use. But it takes a while. It really does. You can, let's see. Hold on here. I think somebody started to mention that. Neptune says the only mountains we have are from the fire ants. Stay away from those dudes, man. Those things are brutal. I do not like fire ants. Fire ants and bees. I don't need them. None of them. I don't need them. Neptune. That's funny. Estelon, fret placement is the thing. Estelon, you can order tools that will help you greatly with that. Or not even tools. Let me show you. This ruler right here. Yes, it says Stuart McDonald, but no, it is not sponsored. But this is a fret scale ruler. and it has all your markings on there. Let's see here. Where are we? Where am I? There's 25 and a half. That's the one I use mainly, and it tells you where all your frets are going to go. So you can very carefully put that on there, and using a very sharp pencil, make all your marks, and go from there. Or if you want to get a little fancier, you can order these little guys that have a notch, and there's like a miter box that I actually have for this that has a pin, and it indexes with a fret saw. So you make your slot, you pop it out, you move it over to the next indexing pin, you make your next slot, move it over all the way down, and lines it up perfectly. Or you could get super old school and measure them out by hand. I honestly haven't done that yet because why? Phil says, I really want to go up Pikes Peak, maybe catch a race up the mountain. The race is at the end of June. I would love to catch the race. So if you're here at the end of June, we might have to see how we're going to attend that race together. But regardless, if you want to go up Pikes Peak, let's do it. I mean, we can go up there. We'll follow you. You can ride. I don't care how we do it. That'd be awesome. I'm not kidding, man. That'd be great. Philip Neptune says, Philip, you can speed up the drying by making a plastic tent over the wood and put a dehumidifier in there. It also depends on how much wood you have. Yeah, I've seen lots of homemade kilns done that way, and yeah, you totally could. Rick's here. What's up, Rick? Rick says, hey, Jeff. Hey, Rick. Welcome. Oh man, that's hot. Phil says, oh wait, hold on here. Harry Dude says, started a new project this week. Restarting the rebuild on my project car. Had the body blasted a couple of days ago. Currently, I'm lying in the back, painting the interior. What kind of car are you working on? Did you tell us before? Because it seems as though I remember talking about a car at one time. What is it? Remind us. Because it sounds cool. I love cars. I'm a car guy at heart, I would say. I'm a little bit of everything at heart, I guess. Phil says, thanks, Neptune. I will try that. Blackbird says, looking for a console stereo cabinet. Going to put in its original pieces, AM, FM radio, reel-to-reel, and LP. Ooh. And also install an analog tube TV, as well as cassette, CD, VHS, and DVD. Dang! That's like super all-in-one. Don't forget the, what the heck is that thing called? What was that? Laserdisc? Remember that? It was like a 12-inch CD. Do you remember? You guys ever remember those things? Well, I remember we had one in school. Middle school, maybe. I don't even remember. A Laserdisc player, and it was like a giant CD. And they didn't last very long. Estelon says, I measured by hand once, and well, it sucked. I can imagine. It sounds bad. It sounds tough, challenging. Neptune's to fill. Inst Guitar 52. Do you prefer SAE or metric? Honestly, SAE. I didn't grow up. Well, I mean, you guys know, the U.S. just doesn't adopt the metric system, so I grew up using the standard measuring system, and I can see where metric has its advantages because you don't have all the fractions, and but I don't like it because it's not what I'm used to, and it's not because I feel one is better than the other. Honestly, I have drill bits. I go in between both different ones. You know, as far as standard and metric, I'm just looking at my drill bit rack there. I've got a set of standard Forstner bits and a set of metric Forstner bits because I need the different sizes. So I need both, but I'm not used to metric. Metric always gets me. You know, the cars have a lot of metric on them now, and they get me every time. Just because I look at it and I go, oh, that's a ½ inch. Oh, never mind. That's not a ½ inch. It's a 13 millimeter because ½ inch doesn't quite fit. I don't know. I don't dislike either one. I honestly feel like I just wish there was one standard worldwide. I don't care if it's metric or standard. Really, I could totally work with either one, but if I'm going to measure something, I'm not measuring it in millimeters. I'm measuring it in inches. Blackbird says, since all of that will be heavy, I'll have to reinforce the cabinet so it can handle the extra weight. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. It shouldn't be too bad. Reinforce it with, you could either use some steel, throw some extra plywood or something in there. Phil says, sweet, I hope I can breathe on the peak. It's definitely, I've been up there several times. It's not, you don't just jump out of the car and just go running around. Especially if you're coming from a low elevation. Do you happen to know what elevation you're at right now? I'm guessing it's somewhere around 1,500 feet in Pennsylvania. You're probably between 1,000 and 2,000 would be my guess. Unless you live, on average, I would say. But if you go up there and you go slow and you breathe deeply and just make a conscious effort, you'll be fine. Unless you have some sort of, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, disclaimer. I mean, maybe if you have some sort of breathing issue, asthma or something, I don't know. But normally, as long as you're not out there and you're just running around, which I did once, and you start to get a little dizzy and woo. But most of the time, if you just are conscious of the high altitude and you're a little bit slower, deeper breaths for a while, and you'll be fine. Harry Dude, Holden, HJ, panel van. I love panel vans. They're awesome. Is it what year? I'm not familiar with Holden, but I do like a lot of the GM older panel vans. They're just so cool. Neptune says, I prefer a vehicle that is SAE or metric, but not both. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It drives me nuts when there's one bolt is metric, the next one's standard. Come on! Like, I'm okay if it's one or the other, but at least then I'll know. Don't mix them. Yes, I'm with you. Phil says, yeah, I have a hard time using metric. Didn't grow up with it, so I stick to what I know. And that's where I am. I did not grow up with it. I grew up, we learned about it, right? But that's not, you grab a tape measure and that's not metric. There's no metric on there. Not this one. I know that you can get metric tape measures, but yeah, I didn't learn with it. I don't hate on it necessarily. I only hate, I don't even like to say hate, honestly. I only get aggravated when they're mixed. If it's one or the other, I'm totally cool with it. Estelon, and from another experiment, do not capital, use barbecue skewers as frets. Not in big letters. But you know what? It doesn't sound silly to me because I remember we were talking about this. But even if that does sound silly, it's an experiment and you learn something from it. So there is absolutely nothing silly about trying it. That is how we find new stuff, right? You've got to get out there. You've got to try new things, even if it sounds crazy to someone else, but you want to try it because you never know what you're going to stumble upon. I have a lot of things that come into my brain that I'm like, man, this is just a crazy idea, and I don't want to try it. You never know till you try, right? It may be a crazy idea, but it may work out fantastically, and you've just discovered some new breakthrough, right? You've got to try stuff, so never be afraid. Never be afraid to try something. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So what? You set it aside and move on, but always try stuff. Tim Brown. Tim says, love your videos. Usually at work at this time, but off today, so I was able to find your live feed. That's awesome. Welcome. I am glad you got to stop by. Thanks a lot, Tim. I appreciate that. Epperson. Whoa, what have I done? What have I done? There we go. Epperson says, weather does suck this time of year. I've started my first farm table, been working between snow and cold fronts, but almost completed it. We have bench seats left to finish and paint or stain. Nice. I got to do a table. That's another project that I don't, it's not early, it's not like it's upcoming, but sometime this year I will be building a table. I think some sort of a table, at least for my house, maybe a smaller one or something, but I want a new table. Estelon says I'm at about 67 meters, if I remember correctly. So what's that? Is that only like 180 feet? 200 feet? Highest mountain in the region is a bit over a kilometer. I forget how many feet a kilometer is. See, that's that whole metric thing. I'm not good with, I'm not too good with distances. Kilometer. I don't know. It's less than a mile, I know that. Harry Dude says Vans from 75. Cool. Estelon, inches and stuff confuse the F out of me. Yeah. It's... You guys, I'm getting better with my Celsius to inches conversion. A little bit better because thanks to you guys, because we're always talking about those sorts of things. But I am working on a project that I will be doing. Remember I was talking about the cheat sheet thing a while back? I've got the graphic done. I've been doing the graphic, thermometer graphic. And I want to do this as a, I don't know how we'll cut it out or something, but for a thermometer so that it'll be like a giant one and I can mount it, I don't know, somewhere so that I can just look. It won't have a thermometer. Oh man, that'd be cool if I could find a big one though. I might have to look around for that. But I want to build at least a thermometer cheat sheet so that it'll just hang somewhere and I can glance so I know when you guys say it's 40 degrees Celsius that I'll know that that's 102 Fahrenheit. Or if you say it's 32 Fahrenheit, well, that's 0. So, but that's something I'm working on right now. I got the graphic pretty well done for that. Just got to move on and try to figure out how I'm going to make that moving forward. Harry Dude says, I grew up with both metric and imperial. Had to translate from metric to imperial for my dad, who refused to accept metric. So is Australia metric or imperial? Mainly. Without knowing, I would think it's metric, but I don't know. I kind of feel like the U.S. is the only one that uses the imperial standard thing. Ed says, how do you convince your wife building is better than buying? A lot of times it's cheaper. Not always. Depending on what you're doing. Well, I shouldn't go lead off with that. There are a few things. For me, I can almost always do it cheaper and better quality than buying something. I think of, you could go to IKEA. I've never been to an IKEA, but there's one in Denver and I drive by it a lot. You wouldn't rub that way. You can go into an IKEA, buy something cheap. You wouldn't be able to build it cheaper most of the time from a place like that, I don't think. But it's cheap. It's not high quality that I understand. Now, I could be completely wrong because I've never been in there. But you could go buy something inexpensive from there. Maybe the quality is not as good as what you can build it. So there is, there's the quality standpoint where you're going to build something that is much higher quality than something you can buy at a big box store. Also, you are going to, since it is higher quality, you most likely it's going to last a lot longer, and there's a chance that it will eventually be able to be passed along, and it will become a family heirloom. I mean, your grandkids or whatever may have whatever this thing is someday, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, my grandpa so and so, made this thing," and there is some kind of uh, um, some sort of a satisfaction knowing that you made something that's going to outlast everything. But usually, you can build stuff cheaper than buying, and so if you can save money, if you can show that you're saving money, even if it takes you longer, that's not a bad thing. Let's see. Epperson says it was my son's idea, so I let him lead and design it. Nice. Poor Conservative says 3,200 feet. Oh, kilometer. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's not that bad. So 3,200 feet. Where I live right now is 7,000 feet of elevation. So I live over a mile high, and we were at 10,000 feet up in the mountains for the weekend. Pikes Peak, which I can see right up. Well, if I walk outside, I can see that Pikes Peak is 14,110 feet. So we don't have any low elevation here. 5,000, I think we have around us, but I don't know what the lowest elevation in Colorado is. Huh? I'm gonna have to look that up. Blackbird says, not Craftsman related, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame finalized who they're inducting this year. They snubbed Pat Benatar, who won the fan vote, Judas Priest, Motorhead, and Thin Lizzy. They snubbed all of them? Blackbird says, a bit perturbed about it. I'm not, don't hate me on this, I'm not a fan of Pat Benatar. Or Motorhead, honestly. I respect them highly. I'm just not a fan of the music too much. Let's see. Harry Dude says, supposed to be metric here in Australia, I believe, but because we get everything imported, we have to deal with both. Yeah. Estelon says, some IKEA stuff is really good. Others is what it is, cheap. Yeah, and you can buy good stuff pretty much anywhere, right? But you're going to spend a fair amount of money for it. But I've also been to some furniture stores that are supposed to be high-end, right? And you start looking at this stuff, and it's laminated MDF. Laminated MDF at a high-end, air quotes. My daughter does that a lot, air quotes. I just don't see that as high-end. There's nothing wrong with it if you're going to build something that way, but a furniture store that is supposed to be known for well-made, fancy, expensive furniture shouldn't be made out of laminated MDF, as far as I'm concerned. John says, take her to a high-end store so she get sticker shock. Yes. Tell her what you can build it for. Yes. Very good. Very good. I guess I didn't quite address how do you convince her, but yeah, you're right. Go look at stuff, and you'll see, the high-end. But actually look at it and see what it's actually made out of. Is it solid wood? Is it MDF? Is it what? For the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 prices that they're asking for things, and go compare. Go shop around. Find something that she likes, and snap some pictures. Take a tape measure. I've done that before. Been in a furniture store with a tape measure because the salespeople, they don't know. I mean, you're measuring it because you're making a plan. They don't know you're not measuring it to see if it's going to fit in your room. Go in and measure stuff. Take some pictures. Have her stand, measure it, take pictures. Then you can make up a plan, figure out your wood cost, and say, look, I can do this thing for, a few $100 in materials. It's going to cost us $2,000 to buy this silly thing. So it takes me a month or two to build. So what? Do a little comparison. Epperson says, I couldn't share pics last time, so I got a link to my Facebook page. Anyone wants to see our projects? Yeah, there you go. Harry Dude says, just don't tell your wife what the tools cost to make it. Well, there is a bit of a tool cost discussion here, and if you have the shop already, that makes a big difference. If you don't really have any or very many tools, you may have to consider what you can do with what you have available, or If you have to buy tools, you got to factor in that sort of thing. And you don't always have to. You don't have to buy tools just because you don't have everything you need. You might be able to, um, uh, borrow somebody's. Go to a friend's house. Maybe a friend has got something. You can go over there, cut some boards down. Um, there are ways around it. Neptune says, "Careful, Jeff. Gina's watching. She will learn your secrets." It's not a secret. I honestly don't buy too many tools now because I just don't have the space. That's really why. There are several things that I really want, but I don't have anywhere to put it. I think the last thing I got was this chainsaw mill that I mentioned earlier, and it's not very big, and but it's going to allow us to do some cool stuff here. So, but yeah, it's not much of a secret. It's not like I don't really go out and just buy stuff and go, oh hey, look what I got. Man, that's like still blazing hot. Instaguitar 52. My wife likes the idea that we can build something the way we want it, not how they want it. Yes, that. I'm glad you said that, because that really is one of the main things that makes me enjoy building things. Anything. You can do it to fit your needs. You don't have to rely on hope, going to a furniture shop. There's a lot of playing. You guys hear that? You don't have to worry about going to the furniture store and just hoping that you're going to find the thing that fits your space. If you have some odd space and you can't, you can build whatever it is to fit that space. You're not bound. There's no limits. The chains are off. You are wide open as to what you can make. Did you guys see that haul table that I did in the fall with the wireless charging? Live edge haul table. If you didn't, just go back a little bit on my YouTube page. Check it out. That was a very specific fit for my home. We live in a small home, so I had to keep the size very small on this. But I'm going to tell you what, that is one of the coolest things that I have made for the house in quite a while. It fits the space perfect, and honestly, it changed the whole entire look of that space there, and it's so much more useful now. And there's no way I could go to a furniture store, have found a table that fit those dimensions. It just flat out would not have happened if I wasn't able to build it myself. And it's really awesome. And that is a very, very good reason for building versus buying. Sometimes you can't save money. Sometimes it costs you more because you got to buy materials, you got to machine everything, and you got to get it whatever. It doesn't always save you money, honestly. A lot of times you can, but just the fact that you can make it fit your needs, you can't put a price tag on that. Phil says, tell your wife it'll last longer than yourself, and after you're dead and gone, she can do whatever she wants with it. Well, and that's kind of what I mentioned earlier. It can become an heirloom piece. That table I was just talking about, that thing I don't know about the wireless charging, it may die at some point, but it doesn't affect the use of the whole table. That will outlast me. There was no way. Haley will have that at some point, and who knows, even maybe grandkids someday will have that thing. I don't know. And a lot of stuff that I've built really will well outlast me. John says, how big is your space? I have 370 square feet. I got less than that, dude. Probably got calculator. I probably got like 100 something. I don't know. I'm not even gonna mess with that right now. I have less than 200, I think. 10 by something, 100. Yeah, I believe I'm somewhere around 150, 180, something like that. It's pretty tight. Estelon, if I had the money, I would build the absolute hot rod metal machine. But I don't. I would build a if I had the money, I'd build a lot of stuff. But that's the thing. You gotta, we all I feel we all are trying to do our best to stay within our means and do what we can with what we have, and that's what we do. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, we have, there's some things that we would totally do if our situations were different, but bottom line, our situations are what they are. We do what we can with it, make the best of it, and don't dwell on what you don't have. I'm not saying you guys are, but I don't, I don't sit around and be like, oh, I wish I had a bigger shop. Oh, I wish I had a saw stop table saw. I wish I had a, 2-post car lift. Yeah, those things would all be great, but I don't have it. That's future. Don't dwell on what you don't have. Do what you can. Do your best with what you do have. Ooh, I like that. Is that a saying? Let's see. Don't dwell on what you don't have. Do your best with what you do have. That sounds kind of cool. I kind of dig that. I'm gonna have to write that down on a shirt. Put that on a t-shirt. Neptune says, I would really like to build a slab table. Don't have many woodworking tools. I would really like a table saw, but don't have the room. Most of my tools are for metalwork. What I did, if you didn't see that table that I made, since you have metalworking tools, I welded up a 1-inch square tubing base, and I have this small piece of a slab that I screwed onto the top. There was mine. I did some recess on the slab, but you don't really have to do that. If you to do something similar to what I did, you could weld up. You got metalworking tools. Weld you up a base, bolt you together a base, put together some sort of a steel base, and just go get a little piece of slab, put it on the top, done. I mean, really, that's the cool part of slabs. It doesn't have to be on a fancy wooden base. I think they look really cool with a metal base and a wood top. I really like that look. Kind of, I want to say industrial, but it's not quite industrial because you got that really nice live edge slab top, and yeah, you don't need a lot of woodworking tools. Really, this one that I did, I trimmed it down to the size I needed with a circular saw, and a router on the edge, but you don't even have to do that. Sand it flat, you're pretty well done. Throw it on a base. There you go. You can do that. Neptune's 288 square foot. Yeah, you got me beat, buddy. Neptune says, that's my idea also. Metal base and wood top. Yeah. There you go. Gerard says, do you live near an airport? I do. It's a small, I don't even know if I want to say regional airport. I don't even think that's the thing. A lot of small, like, I don't know, little Cessnas and stuff like that fly out of there. And it's not like right next to the house. It's a mile or so away. 2 miles, I don't know. But it's a little ways for me, but it's close enough that there's always somebody buzzing around up there, and sometimes it's annoying. I gotta try to work around it when I'm doing video, depending on what I'm doing. A lot of times, right when I'm trying to talk, you get a plane that feels like it's gonna come right through the building. So yeah, it's pretty close to an airport. I don't know. It's kind of like the road. There's a road that's pretty close to the house as well, and I get numb to the sound. Every once in a while, I realize how much noise is really coming from there because I just got used to it. It didn't used to be this busy. It's only been recently getting much busier because they're doing a bunch of building out here, tons of building, and unfortunately, that's making a huge increase in traffic, and yeah, that's bad. Let's see. Something exciting. At least to me, it's kind of exciting. After this, when we're done with the live stream, I'm going to get some things around, and I'm going to be taking at least 1, maybe 2 guitars to a local music shop. I have a really cool local music shop that I've been going to for a lot of years, and I took a guitar in there a week ago to show him, and he offered to start carrying my guitars there. for sale, and I thought that was really cool. So I had to do over the last few days. I had to go through and do a little bit of work on a couple of them just to get them tuned up, set up, everything ready to go. So I will be taking a couple of them down there to have for sale locally here in Colorado Springs. You'll still be able to go to Haley Guitars website if if you wanted to purchase one through there, but they will also be at the local shop. So I'm pretty excited about that because it's kind of cool to just say, yeah, my guitars are on sale in a music shop. People can walk in and see it. I don't have it. I don't know. It's exciting to me. Who knows what will come out of it? Hopefully, I can price them where it's not. Hopefully, I can do everything right. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm gonna be doing that after here. Get cleaned up. I was scrambling before this. That's why I was a couple of minutes late. Because I was trying to get one done. I wanted to have it done before we started. So I'm excited about that. It makes me feel good that that they're going to be there. And yeah, I don't know. I just like it. Martin's here. Hi from Sweden. Neptune says, cool. Congrats, Jeff. John, thumbs up. Epperson, awesome. Congrats. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. I really do. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. We'll see how it goes. I'll be sure to take some pictures. I haven't posted anything in a couple of days. I just kind of been a little behind on picture posting. I've also been having trouble. Have you guys, those of you that are on like Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that, have you had trouble with maybe the accounts not posting properly? I've had trouble the last, I don't know, really the week or so. I don't know what's going on. I have a couple of mine connected, Instagram connected to Facebook, and they're not talking. Like, or when I post on Instagram, it's supposed to put it on Facebook, and it puts it on my page on Facebook instead of Home Built Workshop. I don't know what's going on. Neptune says, plus it gets more people seeing your work. Yeah, then that's kind of what I'm excited about. Epperson says, yes, Facebook been bad last week or so. What's that? Yeah, see? Okay, good. It's not just me. I feel much better now. I don't know what's been going on. I shared some pictures over the weekend when we were up in the mountains, and it was posting. I wanted to post it on Home Built Workshop, but it kept posting to the wrong accounts. I don't know what's going on with these silly things. So I did some tweaks on it last night, trying to double check settings, re-authenticating. I don't know what they called it. So hopefully you'll begin seeing the pictures again, because I don't know. Harry Dude says, nice work, dude. Big step forward. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm excited. So yes, so that's what I got going on this afternoon. Probably this afternoon by the time I get down there. I talked about the chainsaw milling that I'm going to be doing at some point. I'm excited about that too. So if anybody needs an elm slab when I get it done, let me know. I don't know what the sizes and stuff is going to be. KSFWG, what's up in the house? What's in the works for future projects? Kind of touched a little bit of base on that earlier. I've got a lot of small projects. A bandsaw box is gonna be something I'm doing coming up. It's been a long time since I've made one of those, so I'm just sketching out some sizes and stuff and some things that that I want to do. I haven't made one of them in a very long time. I think the last one I made was with my grandpa, and no, I think I've made one since. I haven't made one though as a video. So bandsaw box, some small stuff like that. I've got to do some drill bit organization. That's not high on the list, but it is something I need to do. It is on the list. I've got some logs. I'm going to be doing some milling. I just got a chainsaw mill and a new saw, really. And I'm going to be milling up some logs into slabs. What else? I don't have anything on the bench right now at the moment. The shop is sort of clean right now, which is kind of nice because I've just been wrapping up things, that have been dragging along. Getting guitars done. I'm still wearing these tin pants. I gotta start editing on the video. I'm digging them. I really like them. I really do. They still stink some. My stinky drawers. Still, but it's not completely cured. But I'm still liking that. I'm just wrapping up editing. I'm behind on editing. But that's good because I got stuff in the works. I can always come out here and do some more work, and I always get editing when I have bad weather. That's what I plan for. KSFWG, hey Jeff, just got here. It's all good. It's all good. Boxes are a favorite project of mine. Bandsaw boxes? Is that what you're talking about? Because I haven't done any of those in a while, so I'm looking forward to that. I found a couple of uses for things around the house. I'm going to try to make one that holds some cards and then has a bandsaw box lid, like that nests over it, fits over it. I'm going to try to do that. I've actually got, hang on, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I've got this block. This is actually a block of aspen. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not, but that's what I was thinking. It's got some, I cut this off because it's got, wow, that's really washed out. Ooh, too washed out. Get out of here, aspen. I might try to do that, or I might glue up some sort of a block that I might do. Inst Guitar says, I saw a video where a guy added a lathe to its bench grinder, took off one cover, and put a long nut on the end of one side, and build out his lathe. It would save money. Any comments? Huh. That sounds... I could see that. I could totally... It seems like it'd be really fast, though, but I don't know. You'd have to check the RPM. Maybe you could... I definitely don't see why you couldn't do it. It would be a fun thing to try out, and honestly, I don't see why it wouldn't work. It just... The speed... I'd have to check the speed, though. I like ideas like that, where you take something that's not made for, it's not made to be a lathe and you turn it into a lathe. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So I think it'd be a fun thing to try. KSFWG, nope, I don't have a bandsaw. Gotcha. But I enjoy watching bandsaw boxes being made. Yeah, I don't have a big bandsaw, so I can't make a big box, but I think I can make what I'm thinking on mine. So that'll be coming up next. I don't know. The video anyway won't be out for, if I made it right now, the video wouldn't be out for probably 2-3 weeks, and maybe a month, because I've got stuff in the pipe already. Another thing I got to finish up. You guys remember that lawnmower that I got a while back? I started going through and getting it all fixed up. I got to finish that thing because it's... I know we're not anywhere near lawn mowing season, but I want to get it done and have it ready to go. And our weather's been cooperating, so I just got to finish going through. I got to get a spark plug for it. I got to pull the tires off, probably put tubes in a couple of them because they don't hold air. Sharpen up the blades, just kind of go overall through that thing and just get it done, and then figure out what I'm going to do with it, whether I'm going to keep it or sell it or something. I do. Speaking of projects, I think I mentioned this last week briefly. I want to get into lawnmower racing. I do. I really do. I've already been talking to some of the racing associations about trying to bring it here locally, and I gotta secure a place to do it, and then I think we can move forward. But I want to build one. I don't know how cool. I just think it'd be fun. I can't stop thinking about it. So when I get something that I can't stop thinking about, it just means I got to do it. Right? Do you guys ever get that? You get some idea in your head and you just can't stop. Like you always come back to thinking about this thing. And then at some point you just gotta make the jump and try it, or whatever it is you're thinking about. And that's what I want to do. So if you guys ever done it, any of you know anybody that does, let me know. I'd like to maybe chat with you later, email, or we can do a chat or something. Anyway, Gerard says you have a lot of quaking aspen trees in your area. Do you build stuff with that kind of wood? I have made a few things out of it. I don't have much of it right here where I live, but the mountains are not far from my house, and there's a lot of aspen up in the mountains, so it is something that I can get it, and I haven't used a whole lot of it. I do have some smaller chunks that I think will be good for something. I might even mill a couple of them when I start milling these other logs. It's a very white, light colored. Man, it's making the whole camera wash out when I do that. I don't see anything wrong with it. The ones that I'm using, like, that may be particular to mine, the pieces that I have, the growth rings seem very far apart. So I don't know if it's because they grow really fast, or this is just not an old tree, or what. I haven't used it too much, but I do have some that I want to try to use for projects. And it doesn't completely answer your question, but yeah, it's where I have. I don't use it very often. The heck? Did you hear that? What was that? Tim says, really enjoyed your wood light up pumpkin a few months ago. Any more videos in the future similar to that? Not at the moment like that. And thanks for that. I appreciate it. That was a fun one. I try to do some. So for those of you guys that you've been following along for a while, I try to do videos every now and again with my daughter. Just to get her, it's really to get her hands on, and just to be used to get more familiar with making things and doing things and fixing things and all that sort, working with your hands, just to build some of those basic skills. I try to keep them sort of simple when we do a project together, something that she can get in there and do something on. I'm not letting her cut on the bandsaw and that sort of thing yet. But that pumpkin one, we've done several projects like that. I forgot where I was going with that whole story now. Great. Sorry, Tim. I don't have... Was that old age? Anyway, Tim, I don't have anything at the moment like that planned. I have a sign project planned, maybe a couple of them, but nothing light up at the moment. I do have some ideas kicking around for some things that I might be able to do. One of the ideas that I'm kind of working through, and I'll probably be doing it here pretty soon, sooner more rather than later, because of the guitar that's going to be the guitars that are going to be at the music shop. I want a sign to hang, like he can hang up in the shop. So I'm thinking about taking a piece, I don't know, 18 inches, 24 inches, I don't know, and cutting out a sign, cutting out the Haley Guitars logo, maybe have it done on a CNC or something, maybe epoxy filling it, maybe, I don't know. Right now it's all just kind of maybe stuff. But I think I want to do that fairly soon so that I can take it down to the shop and hang it up down there. But that wouldn't be necessarily... I'm thinking I want to try it on CNC. Don't hate me. Don't hate on that. I like to try new things. I don't have a CNC, but I have access to one if I need it. And might try that. I think that'd be kind of fun. But as far as something like the pumpkin, I don't have anything particularly like that planned. Epperson says keeping the little ones involved is great. That is a priority of mine. I feel very strongly that we've got to teach kids how to do stuff. And I put out a video on that a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, go back a couple of videos on my page, and you'll see it's called A Challenge to Parents. Go back there, please, if you have parents and you haven't seen that, or even if you have seen it, go watch it again. Just some of my thoughts on how I feel about teaching kids. I think this is so important. I don't know where they're going to be, and none of us know where our young kids are going to be in 50 years, 40 years, whatever, right? But if we can teach them now, then they'll always have that little thing, that says, oh, you know what? I don't have to throw whatever the thing is away. I can put a little glue on there, and it'll be just fine for a while. I mean, you never know. Tim says, it seemed like you had fun making the video. We always have fun. And that's another thing when I try to figure out a project that we are going to do together. I try to do something that we can kind of have fun with. Maybe it seems a little silly, the concept, the idea, but it's not, honestly, it's not about really the project for me. A couple years ago, maybe it was 2 years ago, we made a pencil sharpener in a flip top box. Why? I don't know. Because it was fun and we could do it together. So a pencil sharpener, a good pencil sharpener that you actually have to crank, not these junky electric ones. Then we just hid it in a hinged lid, use some self-closing cabinet hinges, and you flip it up, you sharpen your pencil, you close it back down. We painted the sides all up. Totally not necessary, but it wasn't about that. It was about us working together and building something. It's about us going, hey, look it, we together built this thing, and that's what it's about to me. So when I try to do projects like that, I try to do something that's going to be kind of fun, something that we can use, and every time you use it, that hopefully that memory pops into your head. That, oh yeah, I made that with Dad. You know what I mean? And so every time she sharpens a pencil, I want her to think, yeah, I remember when me and Dad made this. Or every Halloween when we hang up the pumpkin, oh yeah, I remember when Dad and I made that thing, whatever, years ago or so. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want. It's more building memories, building those skills, instead of necessarily the project. Now, the project is cool, but to me, there's more to it than that. I don't know. It's important to me. Phil says, all right, peeps, it's been fun chatting and hanging out, but I got to go start getting ready for work. Have a good day all. Phil, thanks, my friend, for hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully we can catch you next time, and I'm going to have to get going here before too long, too. But hopefully we can catch next time. Next week's live stream will be on Facebook, same time, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and if you're in the neighborhood. Epperson, my son is the reason why I got into woodworking. He's 13 now. Our adventure started 3 years ago when he found an old school desk at a yard sale he wanted. He has been involved ever since. A mechanic by trade, woodworking was a hobby. That's awesome. Found it at a yard sale, and now he's involved. That's awesome. That's amazing. That is perfect. Yeah, it's, we've even been out and about things like that. Haley will say, oh, well, you could fix this thing, or we could take this thing and we could do something with it. And it's starting to spur those ideas. And when those ideas come out, I'm like, yes, mission accomplished. So I want to keep that going. So every once in a while, I try to get projects out there so that we can do stuff together. I got a splinter or something in my hand. That hurts. Instigator 52 is Instigator. That was 52 at the time. Thanks for clearing that up, because I'm like Instagram, guitar. Instigator, got it. Thanks for clarifying. There seem to be fewer and fewer young people getting into woodworking. What can we do to get more kids into woodcraft? Bam! That is exactly my encouragement in that video that I mentioned, the challenge to parents that I put out a couple of weeks ago. So the very first thing that I would say would be, if you have kids in your house, under your roof, you need to start, whether they're super young or maybe they're older, maybe they're teenagers. I would say start doing more on your own. Do more, like, set the example, lead by example. That's kind of what I'm saying. When something, and I don't speak just for woodworking, but I feel that some of my suggestions would be can go for anything. Come up with a project. Ask them, hey, what do you need something for your room? I'm just reaching out, grabbing ideas off the top of my head. Do you need something for your room? Do you need a new nightstand? Yeah, I'd like a new nightstand. Cool, let's build one. And take that as an opportunity to work with them and to show them to work together and let them design it. Or at least have a very strong input on the whole project as a whole. I would say that would be where to start. Set the example for people in your house. Build things, make things, fix things, just as a general rule. In my house, when something breaks, there is no doubt that everybody in the house, two of us, or three of us, but everybody in the house knows that I'm going to try to fix it. If it can be fixed, I'm going to try to fix it. They just know that now. And whether it's just a couple drops of glue, whether it's making a new piece for something, I think everybody knows that anything breaks, I'm going to attempt to fix it. I don't care what it is. I will at least make an attempt. So I've already set that stage. And now I'm trying to do projects, build things, do things, involve my daughter so that she can discover the art, the craft, I guess, of woodworking, fixing, making, building, whatever. So start in your house. Look in your house. What can you do to help inspire those in your house to get them involved? And then after that, maybe there's a neighbor, maybe there's a friend, maybe there's a relative that you can reach out to and lend a hand, offer your services, and I don't mean paid services, I mean just, hey, just offer your assistance with things and try to involve others to kind of teach them, teach others. And seriously, it doesn't matter if it's a neighbor, if it's just the guy that lives next door. Show them, teach them, offer to teach people, get them involved. Harry Dude says make an app for it. Yeah, that'd be great, but I don't think an app is gonna work. You've got to get in there. Epperson says less electronics, more outdoor time. Yes, I agree, 2,000%. I have no problem with electronics, but when you, I'm trying to be a little bit careful. There needs to be a limit. You can't just get home from school, sit down in front of the TV, sit down in front of the phone, whatever it is, and that's all you do the rest of the day. It's horrible for kids. I mean, and I'm not a doctor. I am not any sort of scientist or anything. But when they're just sitting there watching some videos, and I don't have a problem with doing any of this stuff. But I watch videos, I use my devices, but it's not all I do. And we can't let our kids be, that's all they do. They need to know that they can go outside, they can play in the sticks, you can roll in the dirt, you can climb a tree. It's okay to fall out of a tree, you're not gonna die. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I fell out of tons of trees. Go outside, play, have fun. Epperson says, y'all have a good one, I gotta get back to work. Nice being here and chatting. Yes, my friend Epperson, thank you very much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Next Wednesday, Facebook, if you get a chance. John says, I had my son in the garage at a young age. He's 28 now and come up with good ideas. I told my son when he was younger, I need his help. Yes, ask for help. Ask. That is something I also don't think I've ever voiced this out loud, so I'm kind of thinking as I'm talking right now. It's one thing I'm trying to think if I was going to ask Haley. It's one thing to say, hey, come help me, right? Can you hold this thing, do whatever. But it's a whole different approach. And if you say, hey, I really need your help. Could you come help me? Ask for their help. It's a whole different, think of how you're how we're framing this to each other. You know, hey, get over here and help me. You know, why am I going to do that? I'm not going to help Dad out in the garage. You know, but when you voice the need, I need your help. Can you please help me? You know, some sort of, that whole manners thing, right? But when you voice it like, I need your help. Like, I need you to help me. Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I remember that time I had to, you know, Dad needed help. So I went out there and we had fun making the thing. Yes, ask for their help. Have them come help you. You know, and, you know, maybe you have to force them. I don't, you know, hopefully you can, that's never going to work well if you force them. So you got to just be careful with how you're approaching it, how you're asking. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hope that makes sense because it kind of sounds like I'm rambling there. But Tim says on Saturdays, Lowe's and Home Depot has free make and take wood projects for kids. Yes, thanks for bringing that up. That is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I kind of want to make that I'd like to make that a monthly thing. I keep thinking about it, but I never get around to it. I've never done them, and I know they're kind of simpler projects, but it's not about that. You know, I think we can all agree that it's about it's about a much bigger picture than making a simple little wooden car thing. You know, it's just getting them involved, getting them, you know, into the craft. Our kids are obviously our future, right? I am not going to be around as long as my daughter is. It's, you know, that's a fact. And after I'm long gone, I want her to be able to draw on the experiences, the memories, and things of us building things and go, you know what? I can fix that. My dad showed me how, you know, when I was 10, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And to just be able to not throw something away. Yeah. To be able to fix stuff up yourself, not throw it away. It's important. Anyway, guys, I need to start winding this down. I got some guitars I got to take to music shop. You guys got any last minute things you wanna cover before we wind this down? Man, I still got some coffee left here. I'm slacking. So, as I glance around the shop, trying to see what I got in the works that I can share with you guys real quick. Like I say, pretty much everything's cleaned up at the moment. It's about time for me to be starting on another guitar, and that'll be pretty fun. A little bit of, I'm not gonna divulge just yet, but I've got most of the body pieces ready. Maybe I can get on that. I don't know. That one I kind of waiting for a warmer day, or at least when I get it nice and warm in here. Oh, I don't see anything else, guys. So, that being said, I think we should wrap this up. Like I mentioned a couple of times already, live stream every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, unless otherwise noted. If you haven't seen either of those videos that I was mentioning earlier, take a scroll back on the YouTube channel and see if you can find it. If you're not already subscribed, it'd be cool if you consider subscribing to the channel. Instigator, what city are you near? I am near Colorado Springs, Colorado. So just about an hour south of Denver. And yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks so much for hanging out. Next week's Facebook. And it's been fun as always. I want to give each and every one of you guys a big old thumbs up. Thanks a lot for hanging out. I love these live streams so much. Like I've mentioned before, sometimes people have come in here and be like, hey, when are you going to start building something? These weekly live streams, that is not my plan. My whole plan is just to kick it with you guys, just like we're hanging out, sitting around the campfire or sitting, around the table, having a good one, and just hanging out. And that is all that I intend these to be. I may do some other things from here, from time to time, but this weekly one, it's just us chilling. So thanks a lot, guys. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Take care. Stay warm if you're cool, and stay cool if you're in a warm spot. How come I can't figure out how to stop this? Where's my buttons? Oh, boy. Anyway, guys, my button's gone. It really is. Hey, there's a mute microphone button. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's try this again. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. It's oh, I can't hit the button.